Welcome. I am Jacob, aka Mr. Also, and I'm joined by my partners in crime, Martez and Aaron. Don't call him Aaron, and he will turn green. We are the hosts of Saturday Morning Serial Podcast, and we review, react to your favorite video game news, TV shows, and movies. How are you guys doing today?
Good, and yourself on this floody Saturday. I should get the jet ski and just go down Woodward in the freeways.
Oh yeah, them floods are getting pretty bad. I saw a couple of stuff on Facebook where people were getting flooded on the underpass again and everything, and their cars are getting stuck. So yeah, it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah,
Not a
it's real
pretty
out
sight.
there. It's real out there.
And by the way, we live in. Oh shoot, we lost Martez.
Man down, man down. Sorry, man down.
By the way, we live in Michigan. Most of us live in Detroit or close to Detroit. So hey, Martez is back. There you go. So yeah, that's where we're getting all the flooding and stuff. Martez, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I don't know. I guess the intro video was too exciting. It didn't like me anymore. It was like, you're not hype enough, so it decided I had to go. But I'm back.
Right, that's good. But today we're going to be going over Loki episode 3. We're also going to be reacting to the new Shang-Chi trailer. And then we got some other news and going over Suicide Squad and everything too. Um, yeah, so we can get started with the Loki episode. And to be honest with you guys, I don't have much for this episode because it it I don't know if it's just I wasn't paying attention enough, but it seemed like I only could pull a couple things from it. Now, if you guys got more than me, please go forward. We can start wherever you want to start.
A
Um, so,
whole bunch of stuff was going on. It's a lot of revelations that
Oh,
happen in subtle ways. Like
hmm
Sylvie and Loki conversations was because it was a very conversation heavy episode, not
hmm
very action oriented. But I mean,
right,
except for when it was, but every conversation mattered.
hmm
hmm
If it was big or if it was small, stuff that Sylvie was dropping, stuff that she was talking about, the differences between them, the similarities and stuff.
hmm
And there's a turning point in the episode which we're gonna get to, in my opinion, when we get to the theory section, because it may or may
hmm
not be, accurate. But we just give a rundown of the episode from top to bottom like we always do, and then we'll interject
yeah,
when it get
right.
important.
All right. So, first we leave off when Sylvie, as she named herself, as we thought that she was Lady Loki, or she doesn't like to be called Lady Loki. Her and the variant that she kidnapped were in a bar, and they were having drinks. Within this conversation, they were saying they were best friends and stuff like that, and they were trying to, which Sylvie was trying to get information out of her. The Oh shoot, I'm frozen. My thing is frozen again. Hold on, give me a second.
that should be your profile pic.
Yeah, but anyway, she was she was trying to get information out of. Do you guys remember her name again? Is it
C51,
C?
I believe.
Is it
Yeah,
C
they all go
50,
by
C
C's
20
and
or something
stuff.
like that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
C20.
C
Yeah.
20. Yeah.
Because
So
C 50.
she was trying to get information out of her to see guards was um how many guards was sorry I'm distracted real quick. How many
Yes.
guards was in front or guarding the timekeepers? Because I guess she's trying to get some type of revenge for the timekeepers. So, but her magic wasn't working as well as she thought it was. So she ended up getting as much information as she can, and then getting out of there because that was really the prologue to or the last episode of basically before that they got into the fight and Loki and the time varied agency founder. So that's where we started off. Then after that, um, we saw where they left off to from the last episode, and they actually went back to the time varied agency. And Sophie went in and whooped some whooped some butt to try to get as close as she can to the timekeepers, but she ended up getting stopped or getting held up by Loki, and her and Loki actually got into a pretty good fight before they had to run away again because the Time Variant Agency got caught up with them. So Loki had uh, used a teleporter to teleport them through the ground, and they ended up in where was the place they ended up in? Um, was it Lamentis?
Lamentis
Lamentis.
2077.
Yes.
Lumentus, yeah,
Yes.
because it's a cool last name.
hmm And where we thought that they were actually going to end up in what was that place called? The not nowhere. The place where the Soul Stone was. Um,
Oh, Vormir.
yeah, Vormir, because I guess it looked similar, with rocks and the purple and stuff like that. But no, they were in Lamentis, and Lamentis was a doomsday planet, or a planet where something is about to happen, to where the moon was about to crash into that planet and it was about to explode. And they went in like a couple hours right before it happened. So, do you guys know anything about Lamentis? Is it anything special?
Not
Um,
really. It's
hmm
a throwaway planet in the books. It is legit in the books, and it's a mining
hmm
planet or a mining
hmm
rock, because it's a moon.
hmm
But it's not very relevant to anything big or anything. So, but I noticed the
hmm
MCU has been doing that. They'll take little side stuff, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll use this because it's a nice Easter egg, and turn it into something of value. So it's not too much to note about the planet itself.
Right.
Yeah, Lamentus pretty much for this episode was served to give you PTSD from Infinity War with Thanos and the moon crashing, and and the scenery. I hope Borderlands look like this because this does look like.
Yeah. It does look. It did look pretty cool. Looks so Sophie was upset that they landed there, and because she was like, hey, this place is about to crash, it's not a good place to hide, which I think Loki, I guess that was Loki's kind of theory anyway, that she was hiding in those type of places that were about to get destroyed, but she was probably
Mhm.
like, this is the worst place
Yeah.
ever you could think about, because this place is going to get destroyed, period, and we're just going to straight up die. And the worst thing is that the teleporter device that they had to go through timelines, the battery died. So they had to figure out a way to charge it, which is like there's real person problems, right? It's like you use a electronic device so much and it's charged, but now your life is on the line. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to get away from the time variant. So they have a lot of back and forth banter, especially with one-upsmanship. They don't trust each other, even though this screenshot looks like it does. They do a little bit, but uh, they don't trust each other because they're both Lokis, quote unquote, at this point. And Loki is really trying to find out what she's trying to do and how she uses her powers, because he can't use that power yet. So yeah,
Yeah.
basically this whole point to me is just all once been upmanship and them trying to get to know each other.
Yeah. And so it's awesome. The banner,
Mm-hmm.
just the dialogue between them two, because um, we all know Tom Hiddleston's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't familiar, or still a little unfamiliar with this new actress, but she's great. She keeps up with him in
Mm-hmm.
every scene. It never feels like he's running the show. They bounce off each other. They argue. They compare stories and stuff because they got the same backstory more or less with subtle differences. And it's even though it's a very conversation heavy episode, it's some funny parts. It's some good action. This was might be my favorite episode so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they mission becomes get off this planet because the thing's not
Mm-hmm.
charged, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
they find that there's going to be a shuttle that is taking people off the planet. That would be
Yep.
another option because
Yep.
they they ran into a lady who's sitting in the middle of the desert with her house powered,
Yep.
and she gave him that Kill Bill treatment.
Yeah,
Sylvie thought she
even Loki tried to trick her as an old guy, and it didn't work out. She ended up saying, "Yeah, he was never nice to me," so she still blew him back and blew him up, even knocked him out of his powers. So yeah.
this hilarious moment where they both got the
Mm-hmm.
same comeuppance, and
Mm-hmm.
it really, kind of laid foundation. Like, okay, maybe she is a Loki too, because
Mm-hmm.
the same thing happened to her, but she ate it, because Loki
Mm-hmm.
he gets he get hurt all the time, but he's very durable, so
Right.
he'd get up and shake it off. So did she, and that's when they changed their mission a little bit. Okay, well, should shuttle off this place. Let's find a way to it, and then we'll take the shuttle, and then we'll go. So
Yeah.
that's the new mission. And when they get to the shuttle, they see a line of people trying to get on it, just like it would be in real life. The rich gonna
Mm-hmm.
go first, the poor suffering. Loki said, "Well, I got a plan. I'm gonna turn to a guard, and I'm gonna walk you on the ship."
Mm-hmm.
Simple plan, if you can call it a
Yeah.
plan. And they get a little resistance going on, so she Jedi mind tricks my man. We are not the
Mm-hmm.
droids you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
they manage to get on,
Mm-hmm.
unscathed. But then they argue again because that's what they do. Even though they're
Yeah.
supposedly the same person, they behave more like siblings.
I
Yes.
have one small problem with that scene. Why didn't Loki make a copy of the ticket?
Yeah, and that's what I didn't understand because I don't know if he can transfer his powers physically to somebody else to where he can just give it to them because that's what I thought he was going to do. I thought he
Really?
was
Yeah,
actually just going to make
absolutely.
a physical piece of the ticket.
Yeah, I
He can
mean, if he
absolutely
turned
project his
himself into
powers
the
on others.
guard, yeah,
Yeah.
he turned into the guard. He could have just, here's the ticket.
Yes.
Because an example of him projecting his powers was on the Dark World. Thor's hand got cut off.
Mm-hmm.
His hand wasn't
Mm-hmm.
actually cut off. That was
Mm-hmm.
Loki projecting that on him. So he could have,
No,
but
I'm talking about physically though. Like, would if they cut the hand off, would they be able to pick the hand up?
good question.
You get what I'm
I'm
saying?
not sure.
So we're
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the only thing I think the reason why the writer said that they didn't want to do it because it was like, well, his powers don't work like that, so where they can physically give you something and you can hold it. It's projection, but it's not where it's basically you can create something out of thin air and people can hold it.
Yeah, because it's still illusion at the end of the day. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it
but
would have been counterproductive, but you know, don't
they
know.
do manage to get on though. So
Yes, yeah,
because a combination, it shows that they do got to work together to get out of the situation.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
they sit down and then they have the infamous conversation that the internet is completely going crazy about, which,
Yeah.
hey, it's great, whatever, but come on, man. At the end of the day, it's awesome. I'm not knocking it,
Yep.
but he is not simply bi.
Mm-hmm.
He is what would be defined as omni,
Mm-hmm.
meaning everything:
Yes.
man, woman, cat,
In the
dog,
comics,
duck, horse.
yeah, he had a kid as a horse. He turned to a horse and had a kid as a horse.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
And
So
he
we
was the
yeah on
female horse.
right. And so if you were going to put this in perspective, in real perspective, if Loki is a god, well, technically he's an alien, right? But he was claimed a god because he was in the royal family on Asgard. So, but he is technically an ice-born alien, and so that means they can be attracted to anything that they want to be attracted to, nor male or female or species, because he is an alien. Now the it's I'm not saying it's a mistake to define him as bisexual on earthly terms, but if you are going to actually just put it in a matter of perspective, if an alien came here, there's no way that you'll be able to say if it's male or female by our standards, right? Nor species. So we are a human race. He is a totally different race. So he can be whatever he wants. And I think Omni is probably the best thing to describe it because it's anything, any species, any gender, however you describe it off Earth. So
Yeah.
that's
So
the
that
message for today.
conversation was had. That's the message for the day. They'll both sleep. They'll both sleep with anything, and that's okay.
Right.
Moving on.
Yes. Yes.
So the conversations they have are very emotional. Loki talks about his mom, who we all know that's his weakness. You know
Mm-hmm.
that was his weakness. He
Mm-hmm.
he will break down for her no matter what. And They have just good conversation talking about things that have happened to them, what's molded them to be the way they are so far. We learn a little bit about Sylvie because she's still keeping it all close to the chest.
But we
But
found out that she knew that she was adopted earlier than Loki found out that he was adopted.
And she's
mhm,
self-trained.
Yeah, and she's self-trained. Yeah.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us to wonder, was her relationship with Frigga just different, or was the entire situation different? Like, was Odin even married to her in her world? Was it somebody else? Who was her mother figure? You know?
But I honestly, I don't think Odin and Frigga was her mother and father. I'm thinking that it could have been Loki, and she is Loki's daughter, and they're just in different timelines. You get what I'm saying? So it could be a situation to where, and this is just me not spoiling anything, but me just trying to make a prediction that the reason that she is like this is because and doesn't want to be called a Loki or be part of a Loki because her dad was a Loki, right?
Yeah,
So
because
yeah.
yeah, plays into what I was saying last week too, where Richard E. Grant is going to be guest starring, and I'm thinking he's Old Man Loki, and it's going to
Hmm.
relate into Sylvie.
Yeah. So I think she's holding everything close to the chest because she's like, well, I dealt with this. This is the younger version of my dad, quote unquote, or a variant. So it's like I don't want to spill out a tea and tell her the reasons why I'm doing this. Um, and it could be just a hard subject because no telling the relationship between her and her dad, and what happened to her dad, and the motivations that she's going through for this. So you know, so
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
It because going back to my last week theory,
Mm-hmm.
I think she's still more of Enchantress than she is of more of actually Loki. Loki.
Mm-hmm.
With alternate timelines and everything, like you said, it could go a lot of different ways. And one thing I think that might be a possibility is in her timeline, what if her mother figure is Hela?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because of the weapon she wields. For one, it looks remarkably similar to the weapons that Hela forges from her own, self, essentially. Two
Mm-hmm.
is she would not be a loving, caring mother figure who taught you magic and
Right.
illusions of
Right.
how to make fireworks when you're
Right. Right.
sad.
Right.
It's a popular theory on Reddit and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
Yeah.
if I'm sold on it, but it is interesting,
It does.
because
It works. It works for sure in the different timeline. It does definitely work. And I think too, with and where I'm at, or where the screenshot is at right now, the with their horns, right? She has one horn and one half horn, kind of like Hellboy. Remember how Hellboy had both of his because gave up something, right? And he took off his horns, right?
Mhm.
She has one horn and one half horn on her costume, and I don't know how that happened. But to me, it's like an Easter egg of this making a decision of who she really is, right? Does she really want to be a Loki, or she doesn't? You know, so it's like the internal conflict that's going on in between her. So
That's cool.
Unless
So
she really isn't a Loki, and that's a heirloom, and her Loki's
yeah,
dead.
yeah, right, exactly.
and yeah, so that's another theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if she got that from her universe as Loki,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why you know she's like, I'm not, or she knows the backstory because yeah, she knew the
Mm-hmm.
man. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
It's a lot
see.
of stuff.
I think the next episode is probably going to be an origin story for her. Um, so but yeah, so they continue on. They just having nice conversation, and then they ended up. She ended up saying, "I need to rest," and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna rest the way that I rest, and that is partying and singing the
Cause
Asgardian
this how
way."
this
So,
how we rest on Asgard. We
yeah,
sing
yeah,
songs and break shit.
yeah, we sing songs, drink beer, and sing. So that's exactly what he did. But believe it or not, he gave up his. He got out of the costume to do so. So he gave up his identity, or basically something close to his identity. And the guard came up and was like, "Hey, I didn't let you in. Where's your ticket at?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm not." They're just gonna fight. So they
Now
ended up
that's
fighting.
why,
We go
and
beat
that is
everybody
why
else.
this is where I had the problem because you notice what Loki tried to do. Why did he
Mm-hmm.
try to generate the ticket there? And he was so drunk he generated fireworks.
Yes, he generated fireworks. The same thing that his mom used to do underwater. He said so. His mom used to show fireworks underwater and stuff like that. So that was still stuck in his brain. He ended up trying to do that, and yeah, so he
But
ended
he
up trying to
tried
do the
to,
ticket.
but he
Yeah.
tried to generate a ticket then. Why didn't
Mm-hmm.
you do it in the beginning?
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
said
So
that's why I get a point ticked off for sloppy writing.
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll explain
Maybe.
why I say maybe once we get to the end, because we're gonna
Yeah.
come back to this very
Mm-hmm.
point with
Mm-hmm.
when I get to the theory. It's
Right.
it's it's going. I don't know if y'all have peeped the same kind of theory, but this shit is crazy if it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
I admit that Terrence is right. That is kind of funny how how Loki just got thrown off the train.
Yeah, they
yeah,
just threw
yeah.
him off
He
the
got
train
thrown
like
off the
a
train.
get your ass out of here.
Yeah, they just threw
It
him
was
off.
like
It
a
was like,
video game. The first security car where he just kicked them through. Did he kick him through or did he blast him through the window?
I can't remember exactly. Let me see.
Others.
I know somebody. I know somebody threw was somebody was thrown.
Oh,
Oh
yep,
yeah,
that's
no,
right.
they
That's
threw him
right.
out. Yeah, they threw him out. Yeah, they just straight threw him out.
Get your
Yeah.
ass out of here.
So
It is. That's
Sylvie
pretty
ended up
funny.
following him because I mean obviously he had the time device, so she wasn't going to be there. She had to follow him anyway, and she got so upset that her scream made her powers come out. Like it was like kind of like how
Mhm.
what's her name, Scarlet Witch, when she gets mad her powers just explode. That's exactly what happened, and that was interesting to me because I'm like, wow, like I didn't
But
know that her
it's not.
powers were like that.
It's not outside the realm of what Loki can do, though, because when he found
Yeah.
out that his mother died in the Dark World, when he was in jail, he had a similar power burst. All the shit in his room flew away, because he was
Mm-hmm.
upset. It's, one of those
Yeah.
telekinesis flex kind of things. Hers seemed a
Mm-hmm.
little more dramatic, but
Right.
you know,
So
uh,
so then oh yeah, they decided to keep going and walking towards the city to where the ship was, and they had more conversations and everything. And then an interesting part here where she found out like okay, she was like where he sorry, he asked more about her powers. And then she was like, "Oh, well, I make illusions in their head and sometimes if they're fighting back, I have to take them back to a place where they had a good memory at." And he was like, hold on, you did that to old girl, C20? And she was like, yeah. She was like, gave her a memory when she was back on Earth. He was like, hold on, wait. I thought the people from the TBA were actual manifestations. She was like, no, she used to be a human. So that brings up an interesting question, at least to Loki. Like, hey, something's not right here because if old dude thinks that he was just created out of thin air and Martez is gone, uh, what did either he was lied to or he was lying to me. Yeah, so either he was being lied to, or Loki said he was being lied to, or he was lying to me. So he was like, but they don't know that they used to be humans or whatever species that they were, and they weren't manifested. So that's going to be an interesting point later on, in the
Okay.
later episodes.
definitely.
hmm So if you basically you could point out those lies, then what else are they lying about, right?
Yeah, because it's Ranslayer, and like I said, Ranslayer's King's girlfriend, so the two of them know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
The Council of Kangs, not the Timekeepers.
Did you have a comment on this, Martez?
No, it's awesome because it's like, oh, yep, going right back to what I've been saying since episode one. TVA can't
Mm-hmm.
be trusted. You
Mm-hmm.
can't trust them because okay, yeah, we create these people, and that's why they no, that's not how that thing works. I
Mm-hmm.
think personally they're all POWs. Well, maybe not all of them, but I think the majority of them are POWs from that war that they're talking about from the beginning. That
Uh-huh.
whole, multiversal war. Okay, well, everybody who asked, we kick. Guess what? You're a TVA agent now.
Mm. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be a thing too, to be honest with you. Because
And then
it
others
it
would
would
be
make
just
sense to
variants.
repurpose them. Yeah.
Every variant that they maybe that deletion process ain't necessarily deleting them. Maybe it's repurposing them. Because their technology is exceptional. They got all kinds of options. Everybody, all the variants that
Mm-hmm.
they repurpose or that they delete. Maybe that deletion process don't send them back to their timeline. Maybe it send their ass to that special location in TVA where they become new TVA agents because we know that they're all variants in there. So I think that a lot of them are people who got defeated during the war, and a lot of them is variants that they found and shocked their ass, and they don't know who they are. Kind of, which is funny because it's very similar to the whole Star the Witch situation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in this town, nobody know who they are,
Mm-hmm.
but they believe something. So
And
she did it by accident at first.
it could be a situation too to where the I keep calling want to call them the timekeepers are, or whoever is the timekeepers, quote unquote, is keeping people here out of their to keep out of their own will to keep the timeline good, but just telling them the story to keep them there to keep them there and justify the reason why they're there and why they're messing with it, right? So yeah, I think we'll find out in the future. I mean, we got 3 more episodes so to figure that stuff out. So,
Yeah,
yeah, but it's good that the questions are coming up now. TJ said he likes how Loki manifests his powers more in this series. They suppress C20's memories like Black Widow.
I wouldn't say suppressed, because Natasha remembered everything. She just chose to block that out on her own.
Mm-hmm. 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 But
poor girl.
maybe their memories aren't blocked out. Maybe they just have a sense of what's it called? What is that called? Amnesia, right? It's not blocked out. It's like when they are destroyed, like in Martez's theory, that when they're destroyed, that they just get a sense of amnesia to where they don't remember anything beforehand, kind of like a reincarnation type deal. But if if you go into somebody's brain, sometimes you can still unlock those memories.
Yeah, I think now. I think they are actually wiping their memories because she said it
Mm,
was in there, but she had to dig deep due to how
mm-hmm,
old that memory is. Meaning,
mm.
C20's been there for a very,
Centuries.
very, very long time. If she had to dig that deep,
Hmm.
so
So does that mean Professor X is controlling this whole thing? I'm just
it's
kidding.
Batista.
That's the type of shit that Xavier liked to do, though. Ask Cyclops.
Right.
He learned his lesson,
Mm-hmm.
though. After that,
Mm-hmm.
put
Mm-hmm.
out your own damn mansion.
Right. So after that conversation, they had to rush to the place and or to the city because the ship was about to go. But also the what's name was making impact. The moon was making impact. So every place that they ran, something was happening, and then they ran into the police. So the police was chasing them, and meteors were coming down at the same time. So it was just pure utter chaos where they had to definitely work with each other to get out of this place. And
Or would you say
then
this was the Streets of Rage?
yeah, basically yes, it was the streets of rage, and then they got to the ship or close to the ship, and it blew up. And their way out was gone. Sylvie was mad, turned around, started walking the other way, and that's the end of the episode. On the cliffhanger. Oh, what are they going to do now? Well, we don't know. And they basically had 15 minutes to figure it out. So, yeah, so that was basically the episode. I don't think there was any end credits or anything like that. So,
There's
um,
not. So
okay, so
now
Cortez,
we
yeah,
get into the theory section.
right,
You ready? From the
yeah.
moment that they were on the train and Sylvie fell asleep and woke up, none of that shit happened.
Mm,
Either she
mm,
got Loki with her power because he fell
mm-hmm,
asleep, or Loki figured that shit out because she taught him what to do and did it to her. Because from the moment when she woke up on that train, none of the stuff that happened was the way that it normally happens from earlier in the episode. All of a sudden,
mm,
y'all buddy buddy now. Oh, I
mm-hmm.
got through off the train and the thing broke. Did it really?
Yeah, and then she ended up telling him her powers,
She told
right?
him. She told
The
him secret.
powers. Yeah.
She's opened up to him, and
Mm-hmm.
Loki. Yeah, Loki's fun, and he's a jerk like that. Yeah, let's get drunk and have fun, but that's kind of out of character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In this
Mm-hmm.
situation, Loki will not do anything to detriment whatever his goals are. Not
Mm-hmm.
without it being on purpose, at least. Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
captured Loki. Yeah, you captured me because I wanted you to capture me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have a theory that from the point that she woke up on the train, that none of that actually happened. It's an illusion for one of them to get into the other's brain. I'm not sure which is which in control,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why the ship getting blew up at the end doesn't matter, and that's why they're still going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to get off.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory I'm throwing out there. Another theory too is that is theories on who Mobius actually is, who he was in his past life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people wish, and I don't think this is true, but a lot of people wish that Mobius is a Loki too. I doubt that.
Now Mobius
Hmm.
is an
But
established character.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
you
established
know,
character. Yeah.
he's an
Yeah.
established character. So, but I think that it's an illusion. I don't think nothing past the train happened
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
actuality.
I'll be giving the writers too much credit. I just think Mobius is going to swoop in to save him because Mobius is the only one who knows about really how to track him down based on how many of the extinction level events are in time history. And Mobius seemed like he has a mind of his own, so he's probably going to go against orders and look for Loki. So, 15 minutes, here comes Mobius to save the day.
Here's hoping,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
how crazy would it be if they just doubled down and let him die?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
two new variants.
Yeah.
And be two new variants, and it shows about
Mm-hmm.
them now. That I sincerely doubt that they have the balls for that.
It's Michael
Mm-hmm.
But
Waldron. He did the four. He was one of the head writers for the first four seasons of Rick and Morty. So he thinks I play.
I would commend that. 10 stars for me. If
Mm-hmm.
they were willing to actually kill them
Mm-hmm.
and then just start with another variant, that would be nuts.
And speaking of writers, Michael Waldron. Not only is he doing that he did Rick and Morty. He left Rick and Morty to do this, and because of this, he is now also co-writing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So this
Mm-hmm.
guy is reshaping Marvel MCU. So he's pretty much like the new Russo brothers behind the scenes.
That's what's up because they need new blood for this new journey they're on. Because when they decided to dive into multiversal stuff, the kind of stuff that we were doing before is very grounded. Everything in the MCU, even the fantastic shit, was still grounded. Grounded in family, grounded in teamwork, grounded in the human spirit.
Well,
But this shit
yeah,
is out there, so it's time
I'm
for that
hearing
new blood.
murmurings. Yeah, I'm hearing murmurings. It's not going to be the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. It's going to be the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse after Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I like and dislike that simultaneously because before it was established that the MCU was just one of the many universes in the already established multiverse. I think it was like universe 19999 or some shit. And then our
Mm-hmm.
main multi Earth is Earth 616.
616.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it that the MCU was actually part of the multiverse. Everything that was
Mm-hmm.
happening could be relevant in the comics because you can have a crossover comics with the 616 and the MCU. Now they're completely separating and saying that the MCU has its own multiverse. That's cool, but unnecessary.
Right. Well,
But that's
yeah.
just
So,
my
what
two
do you
cents.
think? What do you think, Aaron? What do you think is what to happen with the what's coming up?
Um, yeah, I'm completely at a loss for this one. I'm just going to be surprised with everyone else. Like I said, I think Moby is going to show up and save the day next week. We find out that the timekeepers, or my theory is that the timekeepers, I'm sticking and doubling down now, that they are the Council of Kangs and Ren Slayer's right there with him. And they're the only two that knows that the TVAs are variants. Because she is the only one that talks to the timekeepers.
Yeah, I honestly think that I think both of your theories can be true. The one thing that I think that's probably ultimately is going to end is I think Loki's probably going to sacrifice himself for Sylvie. And I know that's a big reach, but I think that he's going to find out something about her past he that that he can't turn away from,
Mhm.
and to save her and to make to where she can keep going and doing her quest to go against the timekeepers, he's gonna have to sacrifice himself to make sure that she gets away and she gets her plan done, whatever her plan is. So, and either he sacrifices himself for her, and then she dies doing what she's trying to do. I think Loki is at least going to try to make that sacrifice to end his story.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be ballsy. Like Loki season 2 about her.
Mm-hmm. 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 So, I mean, I think that because of the variants and you can grab any Loki that you want, you can make any story up about how you can get a new Loki. Period. Right? You can just, especially with the timeline going crazy right now, and they have to deal with all that. There's probably so many Lokis that's taking advantage of that. Right? So they can bring any Loki from any timeline at any point to replace the Loki that's the good Loki that is right now. So
We're halfway there. Halfway
yeah,
there.
halfway there. So
Exciting.
yeah, it's exciting. It's like I said, they throw us for a loop all the time, try to figure stuff out all the time, and it's never the way that we think it is. But I do think the next episode is going to have they are going to get back to the time variant agency, and then they're going to give us some more backstory about Sylvie.
Well, Tom
And
Hiddleston, he did say that episode 4 and 5 are his favorite episodes.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah, so I'm interested in seeing what he means by that.
mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, that's it for the Loki episode. I'm sorry I forgot to tell you guys about the spoilers, but it's probably the worst time to say right now. But
You tune in expecting them at this point, hopefully.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, hopefully,
See, if it was a Friday, I understand, but this is Wednesday now. You have
yeah,
multiple
yeah,
days. Unlike
yes,
everyone else on their blogs and streaming, you have more than 2 days at this point. It drops on
yeah,
Right.
Wednesday. If you stay up, it's 3 a.m. on Wednesday.
right,
So you have
right,
ample
right,
amount of time.
right. All right, so next thing we're gonna go into is the Shang-Chi trailer. New trailer came out, and there was some good predictions and
Fire.
some better information that we got out of that. Um, after seeing this. Let me pull that up real quick for people who are watching. And yeah, we can skim through it real quick. So I'm gonna play it with without any sound, so we won't get no copyright infringements. But
Dun, dun,
this
dun.
yeah, we're gonna play it a little bit here. As we see the rings again. Seeing those rings, those 10 rings are gonna be crazy. I think they're gonna be everywhere in the movie. Hopefully, and they give us a backstory about those rings. But then we get um, more scenes, and I don't know who exactly is talking to him. Is it? Would you think that's a family member? Because it's not his
I think
mom.
that's
Because
his mother.
she said something. No. She
That's
Or
his
says she
not,
mother.
gets a piece of his mom, but that's his mom's different.
or
Yeah,
maybe
I think
not his
that's what his
mom, but like
teachers.
his mother figure is what I more accurately like
Okay.
to say. Because
Right.
you can't have two parents and be a superhero. It doesn't work.
Right. Do you think this explains more where in the timeline they are? Is this after? You think it's going to be after? I know it's going to go back and forth from the past to the future, but do you think this is after the blip or before the blip?
Um, Maybe during the blip. Because
During the blip?
there's a point in the trailer. Because I don't know
Well,
if I'm going to go into the plot because they did not drop the tagline. I know a little bit more about the movie than most. So let
Mm-hmm.
me preface this with minor spoiler. If you don't want to know anything about this movie, just give me
Mm-hmm.
about 25 seconds. Hit that mute button. But the thing is that he's trying to get back at his father, do the right thing. And in order to do this, he has to come up through the organization through a combat tournament. There's
Mm-hmm.
all these scenes. The main thing about the movie is a tournament. Think of
Right.
MCU version of Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
but
that's
there's
gonna
actually a tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's during the blip because at this part, at the end or end of that, if you do a freeze frame, Wong is fighting the Abomination. Why is Wong
Yeah.
fighting? Are you that hard up for money right now? Is this during the blip that you need money to survive right now? Poor Wong.
Is it Wong though? That's the thing.
They
It
confirmed it.
looks like, oh, they
They conf-
confirmed it? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, there's a sling ring. There is a sling ring on the guy's hand. At the
Yes.
very least, he has to be one of the sorcerers. At the very least, he's a sorcerer because he's using that magic and he has a sling ring, so he's a sorcerer. But
Yes,
it
he's
looks
definitely a
like
sorcerer.
Wong, and Wong
Yeah,
was on set. So,
yeah. Yeah. It does look
but
like
I don't care
it
about
could
Wong
look
because
like
that's
Wong.
the
Yes.
Abomination, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. They got Abomination in a cage fighting. Yeah.
It makes me wonder because this is the MCU Mortal Kombat. What other combatants through the MCU are we going to see in this tournament?
Oh, there's so much
Could you
potential. That's what makes it exciting because of
Yeah.
who all could be at this tournament, bro. People that we don't haven't established in the MCU, but
They
are
got
awesome.
I
they
say
got
they kill
Aquafina
Iron
at the
Fist.
tournament.
They throw Iron Fist in tournament, he gets killed. As I'm sorry for the Netflix series.
So
But
this
that's
Abomination and Wong is confirmed in the show in the movie.
more or less. I mean,
The crazy
Abomination
thing is that
confirmed because that's him.
yeah, the crazy thing is that this could be a deleted scene. They've done that before.
They have done that before.
I'm hearing
They
that
have.
we're going to see some familiar faces in this tournament, new ones.
Hmm. Hopefully, Spider-Man shows up. Ant-Man shows up. You know.
I want Daredevil to show up because this is his cup of tea.
Ooh.
This is his cup of tea. Fighting.
Hmm.
He's a fighter.
Hmm.
That's what he. That's
Hmm.
literally top and bottom of Matt. And
They
then
should
it
do
puts
it.
him established in the MCU now.
They should do it to where it's like a quick thing. Like it's like, oh, this guy's fighting this person, and this guy's fighting this person, and then they go, this fight is fighting this person. So it's like Daredevil's coming in.
Right.
Oh, it's like, and he says one quick line. He was like, oh, and then I could do this all day, whatever. And then Luke Cage comes in. He was like, I'm just here for the money. You know what I mean? Blah 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 blah. You know, and whoever the cameos are just gonna be quick, quick, quick. Wong's like, oh man, how did I get here or whatever? And now I'm in a fight. You know what I mean? Now I got to protect myself. So you know, it's I think if it is going to be like that, those cameos should be quick, just for fan service.
Yeah. Matt. Somebody just casually says up here like, yeah, some blind guy's been kicking ass in this tournament. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Yeah.
we're all like, oh, I know who it is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so much potential. I hope that they give us more of that because just that part in the trailer is phenomenal. And unfortunately, this is going to all the fans of the MCU. I hate to tell you this, but if Shang-Chi is comic accurate as much as he should be, he can kick your favorite superhero's ass in hand-to-hand
Yeah, I
combat.
think he's number
Period.
5 on and with hand to hand combat. Number 5, the fifth strongest. And you don't
No,
think
he's
he's the
number
fifth?
one.
Hand to
Number one?
hand, he's
Oh,
number
okay.
one.
Okay.
Now,
Daredevil's
when you
number
start
two.
adding Daredevil's number 2, when you start adding powers and shit, then that's when the balance will start to shift because he
Right,
ain't got a
right.
super soldier or the Lotus or anything. But he taught Spider-Man how to fight. He
Mm-hmm.
invented
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's fighting style, the way of the
Mm-hmm.
spider. He
Mm-hmm.
invented it. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well you got this and that. Let's put together a style for you. And Spider-Man uses
Right,
it to
right.
this day.
Right.
This guy
Okay.
is
Okay.
amazing. So if
Mm-hmm.
they establish him the way that he's supposed to be, I mean, his dad's the Mandarin, the real Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that in
Yes.
of
Yeah.
itself is amazing. There's
The mob
dragons
of
in there. I don't know
mobs.
if yeah, there's a dragon in it. I don't know if they're saying that's a traditional, good Chinese dragon or if that's Fang Fang Foom.
Oh, that's Big
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Bang. There, he
that's
said that
Fang in the
too.
water.
Mm-hmm.
That's something huge. Okay, I just
Mm-hmm.
wish we'd have got this sooner because most of these people were Iron Man villains, and now we're getting
Mm-hmm.
all these Iron Man villains after posthumously, but it's
Hey, it's
still
the
gonna be amazing.
multiverse. He can come back.
Yeah, he can't come
Yeah,
back.
It's the
I'm
multiverse
thinking
that's
too.
thrown out the window.
I'm thinking that Rob might be looking into it though because Doctor Doolittle is not good.
If anything, if they're going to stick with Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Iron Man, because he's getting up there in age. Sorry, folks. I think he'll be the artificial intelligence in Ironheart.
Yeah, like he should be. I agree with that. That would be cool.
To be honest with you, I don't. I think Iron Man is Iron Man. I understand that Tony Stark is whatever, but if they pull him from another universe, has a different Tony Stark, and it's not Robert Downey Jr., I wouldn't be mad with that. I'm mad about that. I mean, to be honest with you, two people played his father, and they look totally different, right?
Totally different.
So totally different. So it's like, and then even when you went back to younger Tony Stark, it was younger Tony Stark looked different than middle aged Tony Stark in Endgame. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you can't get Robert Downey Jr., just get somebody else. Period.
It happens. It does happen, but the thing about the MCU and the Disney conglomerate is you're resourceful enough to find creative ways to do these things. And that's what the fans expect. They expect you to be like, okay, I can accept it if you give me a reason. Now, granted, with the cases that you just stated and the Rhodey situation, well, no reason was given. It's just, oh yeah, nope, this ain't who it is no more. And it usually was money
But the thing
behind
is
the
is
scenes
that
and stuff like that. But
the thing is that so young Tony Stark, that was basically an Agent Carter, right? And he was also in Captain America, right? And that happened in what, the 40s, 30s, 40s, right?
50s.
The 50s, right?
Yeah.
So, and then when did when did they go back in Endgame? Was it the 70s?
70s.
The 70s, right? So there shouldn't be much difference in looks, but you know what I mean. Instead of playing the same character that they used in Captain America and in Agent Carter, they used the same one that was in Iron Man, and I guess it was an Iron Man 2, right? And they look totally different.
the Ant-Man, yeah, they were. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to be technical, the actor got busy because he plays Creature at the time Creature was on air.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. But then
So-
you know what happens with the others. Oh, he wanted too much money. Bring Don Cheadle in.
I just got too busy. If you have not seen Preacher, watch Preacher.
Yeah, but and that's the only thing is like it confuses me too, like with that stuff, because it's like, well, if you want this guy to play young Tony Stark, I mean, at least let him play older Tony Stark, something like that. But it's just, but like I said, it doesn't matter at the end of the day now, because since you guys can just do those things, you can pull, and now you can pull him from other timelines. He can look like anybody now. So,
But here's the important part of this trailer. I would have just let it slide and said, hey, the Abomination's in here. Maybe we can think this is a team-up movie. But I remember reading an article about Namor. Now, if Namor is confirmed for Black Panther, only one company had rights to it, and that's Universal. And Universal not only had the rights to Namor, they had the rights to the Hulk. So if Marvel got the rights back, that means Mark Ruffalo's back in business with a solo movie.
Yeah. So Mark Ruffalo could find, but I think he already confirmed that he's not doing his own movie.
Oh no, he slipped up again. They had to tell him to shut up a couple of weeks
ago. Because it's like at this point, yeah, it can work, but I think it'll only work if they can really just figure out the conflict between him and Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Oh, that's over now.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to start doing like Agents of Smash, like with Red Hulk, or introduce Scar, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do that in She-Hulks. They said it's gonna be a Hulk family type thing.
Well, yeah. So that's Shang-Chi. Any you guys any last comments? I'm really excited. Really excited for this movie actually. So
it's actually I'm also excited for the Eternals. So after seeing this trailer, this now bumps the Eternals.
I do want a little thing because they touched on it in the little mini, in the special. I do want a little thing where they bring the fake Mandarin before the true Mandarin, because he already checked him in jail with that special. I want him to bring the fake one to him and be like, so why was you pretending to be me, boss? He's just been terrified and stuff. They hired me to. I'm sorry, and he either just let it slide or he kills him. I need that to happen because I need closure.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. But I think it's going to be. I'm really excited for this one. I'm really already a big fan of kung fu movies, and to bring
Mhm.
Shang-Chi into this,
Yeah.
that's kind of. I mean, even though Iron Fist got a bad rap because who was playing him, whatever. I was a big fan of Iron Fist just because of the combat, like, and all that mystical stuff. So, yeah, I'm a big fan
Mistakes
of
were made. I
kung fu
mean,
movies, right?
because there's 100 guys. I think Hollywood should put more stock in their stuntmen, bro, because
Mm-hmm.
it's stuntmen who are amazing who can act. Scott
Mm-hmm.
Atkins
Mm-hmm.
can act, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if Iron Fist was Scott Atkins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dog, that
Mm-hmm.
show would have been a fucking amazing. Every
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
scene
yeah.
would have been gold, bro. That's Boyka.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
Mm-hmm.
but
nothing could have saved Iron Fist. It was the writing. I want to choke the writers. Sorry to say it like that, but it's the
he
same
said
guys
nothing.
that did. It's the same guys that did the Inhumans. And do we remember the Inhumans?
Oh yeah, the Humans is bad. It was horrible.
It's like
I didn't even. I couldn't even get past the first episode.
I mean, if you screwed up with Iron Fist that bad, why would you hire them to do the Inhumans? And I see why Kevin Feige told them get rid of them. Let
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Studios do the TV show. Get rid of Marvel TV.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Season two. Season two was a little bit better than season one. I just think he was just way better in Defenders. Like
yeah.
Iron Fist is way better in Defenders.
Season two was
So.
too late. They got rid of the showrunner, and the writer had to salvage what the hell happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so up next, we got the
Flash.
Suicide Squad. No, we do Suicide Squad before the Flash. We're switching over to DC people. So I don't know. We got any music for that? No, we don't. Okay, so let's go over into DC.
Listen, how about the sound? Listen, how about the sound of a studio exec getting upset at the thought of one of their superheroes performing an act of love?
Hey, heroes don't do that. We got to sell action figures. We can't do
Because
that.
because
Right.
heroes don't do that.
DC don't make good movies. It's all for the toys, man. That's all it
But
is. So you can sell
I
merchandise.
know Daredevil merch has at an all time high, and he took a strap on to the butt in his
Hey,
movie.
hey, Tess,
But
Tess, you know who voiced Catwoman and Harley Quinn?
huh?
You know who voiced Catwoman and Harley Quinn? Now that you bring that up, your
Who
girl
who is
Sanaa
she
Lathan.
now?
Sanaa Lathan is the voice of Catwoman.
Ooh, because her voice is dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's awesome.
watch
And
season
oh,
two.
come on, man. I mean, listen, spoil, behind the scenes spoiler alert. If Batman and Catwoman is literally getting it in on the Batmobile on set in
Oh
real life
yeah.
right now, okay, but you mad about Batman doing the damn thing? Come on, man. DC, what is wrong with y'all? Priorities is all over the place in an R-rated show. Come
Right,
on,
right,
bro.
right. All right, so
So
this is
that
the
means I can
Suicide
wear.
Squad.
It established how much of a threat he is, and she had
Mm-hmm.
to stand out. It's like no matter what you do, he will kill me before you get a chance to even lay a shot out. And he's
Mm-hmm.
upset because Waller is leveraging his daughter against him to go up against a very, very menacing villain. That I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised they gave James Gunn to go ahead to do, as we will see towards the end of the trailer here.
I mean, this was similar, or well, not as intense as it was with Deadshot. You know what I mean? Getting them out and stuff like that, and having a little dialogue.
Establish this lore. I put Superman on his ass. I'm this black
Mm-hmm.
assassin,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And I put him on his ass, and I'm human.
Right.
And they were willing to establish that in the DC EU. I am willing to give this every shot in the world simply because of the fact that they were willing to go with that storyline. I know it's kind of like a soft reboot, which I'm all for anyway because there were a lot of problems. But I am super excited now because if they're willing to do that, and they're willing to let King Shark eat people on screen, and
Mm-hmm.
sky's the limit. And then
Mm-hmm.
get your expectations there.
Yeah. Only one that
A
survived
lot
was
of these
Zaza
people
Beats,
are
right?
a lot of these people are not gonna make it. Okay,
I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
because that's
you
the
got
nature of
limbs
this
fall
team.
off, boy. You got limbs fall off, boy. You really think he's gonna live through this? Nathan Fillion, limbs fall off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a tough
yeah,
fit.
yeah.
Starro because of his mind abilities in
To be
Starro.
honest with you, I think it's right here. So,
Yep. Yeah, there's a thinker right there, so he makes it
yeah,
out.
you don't see the furry dude. You don't see dude with the long hair. You see Shark. You see Harley Quinn. You
Red
see
flag.
Rick Flag. Yep. You see Bloodsport or Bloodshot, and then Harley Quinn.
The
Yeah,
thinker.
the
Polka
Thinker.
dot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, that's basically probably who's going to be it. The final
King
water
Shark is a
battle.
shark.
Jacob looks like he's in deep in thought, looking down.
Oh shoot! Yeah, my bad. For people who's watching live, my phone keeps or my camera keeps freezing. So sorry
Hey,
King
about
Shark
that.
is a shark.
Yes.
don't take it the wrong way, but that's the most legible I've heard Sylvester Stallone in a while.
That's super ironic, right? I don't think King Shark's gonna make it.
Oh
You don't
no,
think he's gonna make
my
it?
favorite. Oh, Discovery Channel.
I
I'll make sure
wanted
you
to.
make it. Remember, Warner Brothers owned by Discovery now. And they got Shark Week, so
It's gonna be good. Hopefully we can they can establish something off of these movies and not make anything horrible for too much longer. So I mean, there's only so far you can go with the Suicide Squad, but as they can at least establish characters and establish villains and stuff like that
The thing
for it.
about
So
though is the nature of the team is as long as a handful of the members survive, you can do this infinitely.
hmm
As long as you have villains or anti-heroes to throw in the team, because that's how the book went. People died all the time, and then
hmm
you see, you know it's the same team because you're like, oh, okay, Harley Quinn's back or such and such is back, but then the whole rest of the team be gone. KG Beast in one of the Suicide Squad movies dies before the mission starts,
hmm
you try to
because he
take
was
the cover
talking that
off.
shit, and she was like, oh, okay, so you think I'm playing? Boom,
right,
just like Slipknot. So
right.
it can go on as long as they needed to, but I think they should stop at three. They do a third one, which if this one is great, and then they do a third one, then I think that should stop.
If they do a third one, it better be them against the Justice League or some other hero team at that point.
It's completely possible considering the way that the games are going right now.
Yeah, which that would have been kind of ironic if the game did drop this year because it did get delayed. Yeah, 'cause that's the whole premise of Justice League, Suicide Squad versus the Justice League is fighting a Starro controlled Justice League.
And that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we're about to talk about the Flash. Now, is there something that you want me to pull up for that?
I got you.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the Flash series. They're at season 7, episode 14, and they then had some revelations that Aaron wants to share with us.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Some behind-the-scenes footage came out for the Flash. That's the working title. I'm still thinking they might go with Flashpoint. A couple of things that are confirmed. Ezra Miller's Flash will be running into Grant Gustin's Flash again in the movie, whether it's a cameo or a significant minor point. They haven't said yet, so the two Flashes will be meeting up. Set photos for Supergirl came out, and I'm kind of excited. What do you think, Tez? Tez and Jacob, what do you think about the set photos for Supergirl so far?
I
Now,
have
is
to
this
wait till I
going
see
to?
it in production.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be like a new Supergirl? Like the old one is dying, or what's going on?
That's why I'm
She's
thinking this is going to be part of the Flashpoint paradox somehow.
Yeah.
Because the version, the way she looks reminds me of the flashback for the Injustice comic book, where they showed
hmm
Superman his daughter, and pretty much what we have here. is her look right here. That's Lana Lane Kent, and the just
Oh,
yeah, and that's Superman's daughter with Lois Lane. But since DC is all out of
he
whack with
he
the
named her Lana.
Lana Lane Kent,
Huh,
Laura,
that's interesting.
Lana and Lois
Laura.
don't have beef in the comics. They actually
Yeah,
become cool. They become pretty tight in the
yeah,
books. So
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
sounds stupid, don't it? Like, wait a minute, this was your old girl. But yeah, nope. She and she was dope too.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that that's what is going on as well, based on the suit and her overall look. Um, but the suit, man. I
Now, that's a 180 back to Henry Cavill. When the photos first came out, this was the exact same suit, and everybody's like, give it time. Remember, it's nowadays you don't want that cape on them. You want a CGI in there. Look at Man of Steel.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do that. So, yeah, so they will polish it up and everything.
I mean,
Other
they did it with Supergirl. I mean, what they did, they had the cape physically on her, for that. So, I mean, not when she was flying, but when like she was walking
well,
around.
I mean, Supergirl has some notoriously bad CG some from time to time. No,
it's CW.
But that's CW period. Yeah.
exactly. So you know, you don't wanna lean too much. But I don't mind the cape not being on her in the scene. It's just something about the way that that under armor protrusion. Like I said, I got to see it in production because set
Hmm.
photos never give you a clear idea what you're actually gonna be looking at.
Right.
When if we get a trailer with her in it, then that'll be it. Because right now it just looks weird.
Yeah, we
Right.
got our first glimpse at Bruce, also. Bruce
That's
Wayne.
dope.
Yeah, that's cool. That's dope as hell.
Yeah, we
That's dope as hell.
now my main
Solid.
question is because it's going to be a prominent part for both Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. I'm wondering who's going to make it out of this in one piece. Are we going back to Michael Keaton and do Batman Beyond? Because this is old man angry Bruce. We all know.
Now this is Flash the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. This is Flash the movie.
Yep. This will
Okay.
reshape the entire DC cinematic universe here. We're
Oh, wait,
wondering.
wait. Okay, hold on. Wait. All right. So sorry, I introduced this as Flash the show. You mean Flash the movie? This is all happening.
This is the movie.
Got you. Okay, sorry. My bad, people. I thought he was talking about Flash series. My bad.
He will
Okay.
be on here though for a little part, so it will be part of it also. So
Right. Okay, yeah. So this is Flash the movie, which, they put that in the Flash show too a little bit. But yeah. So
multiverse.
yeah, the multiverse. Well, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm glad Michael Keaton's coming back, as Bruce
And
Wayne.
if we're doing old man, if we're doing old man Bruce for Batman Beyond, it's got to be Michael Keaton because
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
Ben Affleck's awesome, and I love to see him as Batman, kicking ass. I like to see him against the mutants. The mutants in that storyline, and then an older Joker and stuff like that. But when it comes to crotchety talking shit, making you feel like a jerk, Michael Keaton all day. Okay,
I get with
Beetlejuice.
that.
Come on, man.
I get that. But I think Ben Affleck had the anger as like the Batman Beyond, Bruce Wayne had, because he had a lot of anger in him. Right.
And it
He
looks like
So.
I can't see Ben Affleck heart attack neither though. Like on screen, I just be like, really, really, Ben? Okay.
Oh man.
and
I don't
And
know.
as we all know, that's the whole problem. That's why I'm not Batman right now. Every time I put this suit on, I have a damn heart attack. Literally, that's why he stopped.
when he
So
pulled that boy out, when he pulled the 9 out, it's like, nope, time to stop.
Right.
And it looks like they're going to mimic or recreate Tim Burton's aesthetic too when they go to that timeline, because this is that photo where he meets Bruce Wayne from one of the scenes. So
And it's very pale colors that they're,
Mhm.
pale blacks and all that. Yeah,
It's
it's
going to be
interesting.
nice. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how the Flash, just like the comic book, is going to make or break the cinematic universe for DC. So
All right. That
don't let
sounds good.
yourself
is
do
that is
not
so exciting, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The thought that we might get to see that old Tim Burton aesthetic, bro, with an update, obviously. But if he can turn his head, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not supposed to be able to turn his head.
He'd be like, what are you doing over there? I can't see you. Let me turn my shoulders.
Who's here? I know you're fast.
It was so funny looking him up. Like when he looked up, his whole body had to look up like this. Like, who was that?
That's it, though, man. It's got to be that way.
Right. I love that Batman movie though.
Yeah, they also showed the first outfits for Shazam 2, and they got a complete makeover for that. You guys see that one?
Is it like a genie?
Shazam?
Is it like a genie?
No. Oh, God.
Listen,
Yeah, just like Sinbad showed up.
bro, what is up with that?
I don't understand.
You want to talk about the Mandela effect, bro? That is crazy. Like, what is up with that? Everybody swear to God that this movie exists.
It does.
But what? How? But it don't.
It does. He played a genie.
But he didn't play Shazam. Was it Shazam? What is life,
Shazam.
bro?
Yeah.
But it's. I think it came up
going
too.
on? Wow.
Yeah, here. I think somebody solved it. Here it goes. I'm gonna see if I can actually pull up the footage.
This like that dress. Some people see black and blue. Some people see gold and yellow. Some people see Shaq, and some people see Sinbad. That's what it is. It's like the dress.
Yeah, I got you. I got it pulled.
Here it goes right here. Oh no, I got it. Yeah, I got it. So, right here. So this is the Shazam movie with Sinbad. And I don't know if it exactly came out, but I do remember either watching the video when I was younger on VHS or seeing a trailer for it on Nickelodeon. So, but if you see, you see it recorded at a Fruit Loops, had old Fruit Loops commercial in it. But you see, this was the lamp that they had, and as soon as they rubbed it, there he goes, and Sinbad as Shazam.
We sure this isn't a joke?
No.
You look kind of old. Oh my goodness.
We on you, black man. He do look kind of old. This had to be fairly recent.
You think they recreated it like he recreated it? Okay. So maybe it was because I don't know. Yeah, this is. Wait, hold on, wait. What is this?
Bright dust.
Nope.
Bright dust.
No, that's not it. No, somebody made this one too. Yeah, I think somebody.
It's a figment of our imaginations.
Yeah.
Mandela effect, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No, they confused Sinbad for Kazam. So no.
That movie is deliciously bad.
I am excited for Shazam: Fury of the Gods with the set photo of all our heroes back in costume here. Yep, looks like Jacob's frozen in a happy spot.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and share your screen. Do I have to turn it on for you or no?
Yep, you got to turn it on.
Okay. All right. There you go.
This is it. This is our gods, the Shazam family. So the new outfits, they're going more Man of Steel-ish, so they're doing away the costumes the first one. They're getting a little flack saying that they actually prefer to tone down costumes, but I'm alright with the new ones. and they're using the same actress for both human and version for Mary. They said she's
Oh,
old enough.
nice.
Yeah, they said she's old enough, so they why swap out actors. They said they're gonna do a little makeup effects, do a little Wonder Woman type of deal when she transforms.
So, am I the only one who's getting Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie feels looking at this picture?
Yeah.
It's something about the way they standing and the way that light's dancing off of them. This should look like the first Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. And that's not a bad thing, really, per se. It's
Right. Right.
just, that's the emotion that it's evoking in me. I feel like saying
Mm-hmm.
Hutsi Iya.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks interesting. I do like the costumes though, for sure.
Yep, and these are the guys that got
So,
taken on the rock in the third movie.
They all have different aesthetics too. I like, they have the all different types of boots, all different types of colors and belts and shit like that. So it's pretty interesting. I like it.
Yeah,
have they established the plot?
they're keeping it tightly under wraps. They said no Black Adam. They said they're saving that for the third
Lies,
movie.
lies.
Black Adam versus Superman because he is really angling to get Henry Cavill back. So we'll see how that goes. And I would love to see a showdown between Black Adam, Superman, and the Shazam family, and see Black Adam systematically take down each last one of them because he's that
Beat the dog, beat the dog out of him, boy. Like Adam don't play no games, dog. And it's gonna be the come on, man. That's
He
exciting.
started in the comics. He started with Superman first, beat him down so badly he had to go to the Shazam family to get him. Like,
Yeah, because as we all know, Superman has no resistance to magic,
Right.
and since their
Right.
powers are based in magic, all them hits hurt. Every single blow, you feeling that because it's God magic on top of that.
Aaliyah says Shazam was garbage.
She hates that movie. She
I haven't
does.
seen it yet. I gotta finish watching that movie. I didn't finish watching it, so
I liked it. It was a break because at the time DC was in murderverse mode, so it was a lighthearted change after seeing all those dark movies back to back to back to back. Like, whew, as much as I appreciate Zack Snyder, it was just getting a little bit too dark there.
All right, we got any other news or anything before we end this episode?
Oh yeah, this one might get Tez in the fields here. The recent announcement that there's going to be a supernatural prequel, and the fact that Jensen Ackles did not tell Jared Padalecki that they were doing this.
Yeah, he found out on Twitter like everybody else.
Even Misha
Yeah.
Collins came out and said it didn't tell him. It's like,
Well,
Yeah,
Misha
he-
Collins actually made it funny. He said that y'all could use an angel in a trench coat in that show too. Yeah. So, but that I don't know what's happening with all of that. I don't know if they should be doing a prequel. To be honest with you, because they went through a bunch of prequel stuff anyway during the show. I don't know how much more they can elaborate on, but yeah, I mean, it could probably happen. I know that they're coming out with a Smallville sequel too, with Tom Welling and the guy and Michael Rosenbaum. They're trying to do an animated series. So, but I'm thinking that because CW is struggling on ratings so much, they need to bring some type of supernatural show back to probably bring people back. But I don't know how good it's going to be, nor if it's needed. I think where they ended it should have ended it.
let's face it, I understand why Jensen didn't say anything because Soldier Boy, he's going to be Soldier Boy in the boys. That's not a character that's going to be long for this world. So when the boys is up, what's he going to do after that?
He's gonna need some. I personally think, and they've tried before, it just didn't work out. But I personally think that Jensen and Jared need to hop their ass over and start getting that Disney money, hopping some MCU stuff. They're perfect. They're both built like fucking superheroes. They're both literally superhero guys. They've been playing superheroes for 15 years already.
But
Okay.
do you also think that Jensen feels some type of way because they just picked up Jared to put him on another show. Like they just like, hey, they put him on. Well, not feel some type of way, but like they picked him up and put him on Walker. Like they already had an exit plan for him. They didn't have a plan for Jared, right? So Jared had to go find his own work with the boys. So it's like, okay, well, with the boys being over, you got Walker. Like you got Walker. If you can carry that show, you can do that show. Let me do Supernatural while you do all that, and so you can continue with your job with CW. Let me do my little
Right.
deal with CW.
Right, because with Walker, Jarrett wasn't supposed to start it. He was just going to help produce and develop it. And
Yeah.
And he wound up starting in the last minute. So
Yeah.
I think he's just more hurt that no one told him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's an animosity thing. I hope it's not because they brothers, man. At the end of the day, you work for somebody for 15 years. That's what happens. The public always try to blow shit up and cancel culture and all this. It's possible. Jensen was like, okay, this happened. Okay, da 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 da. Okay, let me take care of my day. Let me eat breakfast and make a cup of coffee. And then Twitter was on that shit. Twitter's instant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the news dropped, then it's everywhere. So I don't think he withheld it. I think he just didn't get around to it. If I find out,
or not just that, like you had your own stuff going on. Like you got a whole show dedicated to you.
Yeah, he could go that route too and be like, yeah, you had other stuff going on. I figure I'd get around to telling you, or it might just be one of them things where the internet's overblowing it, and that's probably it because that's what 90% of it is. The internet won't beef between people who should never have it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, just got another hit here. Looks like they just literally announced that Justice League Dark Madame Xanadu got picked up for HBO Max series.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I love all Justice League Dark stuff because you can kind of step away from action figures and tell stories that are just that, dark. Constantine is definitely the type of hero that does that kind of thing.
Yeah, not CW Constantine. They can keep that. We need a better Constantine than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we got a release date for Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms animated feature from the same guys that did Scorpion's Revenge. So
Scorpion's Revenge was pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. All right, so that's the end of this episode. I believe this is episode 17. Episode 17 of the Saturday Morning Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, we are live every Saturday morning like a 90s cartoon, and we are we are live on Facebook and YouTube. We are also, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts from. I want to thank you guys for watching again. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you guys feel about the Loki episode below. Any predictions that you guys have or anything, how you feel about Shazam, and any other topics that we talked about tonight or this morning. Sorry. All right. See you guys later. Peace out.